So I'm going to talk about a project that probably fits quite nicely with what you were talking about, Love Thy Neighbour. So I remember the first time I went into my alley, basically, we didn't have access for the longest time because the previous owners didn't provide us with a key. So we took it upon ourselves to smash our way through the back gate. And I stood in the middle of the alley and it was just so nice. The wildflowers were growing, there were butterflies, the weeds were high, and it was like a little haven within the city. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this would be such an amazing space for the community to utilise. And that's when the seed was planted for Greening Our Neighbourhood Alley project. My name is Jessie Townshend. Is this not working, Bob? Is that okay?
Yeah, keep going.
I'm a core team member at Transition Liverpool, and I've been spearheading this project. So Greening Our Neighbourhood Alley, how can we take ownership of communal land for fostering community connection and increasing biodiversity? So why is it important? Greening can be utilised as a way to enhance our alleys for community use. It can be a place-based approach to creating community resilience by enhancing civic pride and by creating a sense of ownership and purpose. It has the potential to increase people's well-being hyperlocally. So a doctor at the University of Liverpool did a study on the 330-300 urban design rule, where he looked at it in correlation with well-being statistics. And he discovered that if you can see 3 trees from your house, it actually has a better effect on your well-being than being within a 300-metre radius of an open green space. And finally, it can increase biodiversity within urban areas through establishing pockets of nature. So historically, alleyways were used for utilitarian purposes such as coal deliveries and refuse removal, and they play a vital role within the fabric of our urban land. Yet they're usually regarded as unutilised and neglected infrastructure, potentially looking like this. So yeah, this was our alleyway before the project started. Pretty bad state. I'm not sure if anyone else's looks this bad. But basically, it's in a very studenty area, and I think what the issue was that we get contractors in all the time to upgrade the buildings and just chuck their materials into the back, and that was not very precedent for other people who also decided to chuck their rubbish there. But we did find some cool stuff that we were able to use. So the process of the project. So I didn't know any of my neighbours when I first started this project. Does it keep going?
I do think it is really funny that way.
Sorry about that. So, yeah, as I was saying, I didn't know my neighbours when I first started. So the first thing to do was basically raise interest within the community and inform people of our ideas, what we proposed to do with the alley and about an alley clear-up. So I designed this poster, which was then delivered to all the houses, which kind of led back onto the alleyway. Secondly, I did another flyer just informing people again of what was happening. So we had organised a date for an alley clear-up, and this poster had a WhatsApp group QR code so that people were able to join the group and keep updated. Thirdly, we had an alley litter pick, so this was the group of people that joined us to help clear the alley, and these are all the rubbish bin bags that we were able to clear. Then fourthly, we decided to organise an event in the alley. So we kind of focused this around the idea of a swap shop, because there's quite a lot of students in the area and they chuck around, and they basically throw away stuff that is like fine to use. So the idea is that they bring all their stuff and swap it amongst each other. So for this, we again put out a flyer But we did door knocking as well to further engage the community. And then finally we had our alley event. So luckily it turned out to be a glorious day, and these are all the people enjoying the alley with us. So this is the process with the integration of many other things that were happening at the same time. So on the 20th of March we put out the first flyer, so we had one neighbour interested, and this was also the day that the flyer tipping got reported. On the 28th of March we put out the second flyer, and we had 3 neighbours join our WhatsApp group. On the 29th of March I was in contact directly with councillors about the project. They're a really good resource to have. And then on the 5th of April, we had our alley clear up. On the 8th of April, to my surprise, the council actually came to pick up the fly tipping. I think they would surprise themselves that it was that quick. 15th of April, we got donated some plants, so I went to go and collect them with those. On the 2nd of May, we did the door knocking, and information was sent out about the event that we organised. On the 10th of May, we did like painting in the alley with the neighbours at the back. Basically, we had some issues where people put some stuff out the back and it was removed. So we thought if we have some kind of nice art, people will think that stuff is going on. On the 13th of May, we put more plants in the alley, and then on the 17th of May we had the alley event. So this was our alley event. We had a couple of different things happening. Free house plants for people to take. We had a What's Happening flyer, just informing people of the future plans for the alley. We did bunting making. It was really nice to see children getting involved in this. We had snacks, refreshments, and alley games. Somebody drew a little hopscotch down the bottom. Okay, so this was the alley after all the fly tipping was picked up, and we have started to put plants, but it's quite a long alley, so it's taken a while to get fully greened. So measuring up, what is the impact and the contributions of the project so far? So to date we have 11 WhatsApp group members. We had 8 volunteers for the alley clear up, of which 33 rubbish bags were filled. We had we reached 41 members through door knocking, and 31 people approximately attended the event. We had £75 kindly donated to us for a tonne of soil, and the council have offered a £500 voucher through their community fund to us. And so far, approximately 137 hours of volunteer time has been contributed. So what are the lessons learned? So just a little reflection on what went well, didn't go so well on the project. So I think basically having a community on board from the offset is probably a better idea, because it is quite a struggle when there's only a couple of people interested from the start. Secondly, with the alley event, we targeted this at students with a swap shop, but that didn't actually happen. And actually it turned out more successful because we had families and stuff joining us. So it's better to focus your efforts on long-term residents, as these are the people that will benefit the most. And thirdly, well, I say don't get disheartened. I did a little bit of stuff. People will keep fly tipping, but it takes a long time to kind of establish community pride. And as I was speaking to one of the councillors, they were saying that like different people have different ideas of what an alley should be used for. So it's just about changing that mindset, and that'll take some time. So from this, I created a toolkit. So this is like a preliminary toolkit, and I'll kind of flesh this out, and that'll be posted on the Transition website. So step 1 is to get inspired. So I actually found quite a lot of photos and stuff on LinkedIn, and then there's Instagram. There's many alley projects across the UK. Ones that are on your doorstep, so there's this alley project, and a few of you have probably gone to Granby Winter Gardens alley. But if you contact your local alley groups, I'm sure they'll be able to arrange a visit. Secondly, is get to know your community if you don't already. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's really a good idea to have a committed group who are passionate about the project on the offset. So I'd recommend maybe like 5 people minimum, and if you don't have that already, the door knocking is a really good way to establish interest. Step 3 is don't forget to take photos at the start. As you can see a massive difference from the start to the kind of end of where we are at the minute. And it's really good to document your journey. Helps keep you motivated and your volunteers. Step 4 is report the fly tipping as soon as possible. This can take some time, but I think the reason it was picked up so quickly is because I was in contact with the counsellors, so they're a very good resource to have. And they can help you pick up bigger items that you might not be able to start yourself. Step 5 is organise an alley clear up. So your first event will be the one that raises the most interest within the community, so try to get as many people to that as possible. It'll create a buzz in the alley and get people motivated to help. Step 6 is to organise an alley event. So by organising an alley event and hosting it, you're encouraging people within the neighbourhood to come and enjoy the space with you together, and this will strengthen community ties and generate chain reaction towards positive change. Do I have time for this? Okay, so I've done a couple of helpful tips, and these will be fleshed out a bit more on the toolkit that's posted. But it's helpful to think about like the legalities of greening a neighbourhood alley. So, for instance, our alley is like semi-adopted by highways, so it means that we can't put stuff in the alley that can't be moved easily, as they might ask you to move it. So you could look at land registry for this, but that costs money. So be in contact with your counsellor, they'll be able to tell you. So they're a really good resource to have. Again, start a WhatsApp group. It's really good to keep your neighbours informed about what's happening and keep the momentum going. So after your first alley clear up, just make sure that you have stuff in the diary to keep people connecting with each other. Contact your local council. Again, they might be able to help you with funds, information, and but I don't know if this is in other areas, but it was in our area because we're quite studenty. They put out free skips, and they offered us a free skip to help us clear the alley as well. Sourcing supplies, Facebook Marketplace is good. B&Q also offer materials to communities, potentially like timber and stuff like that. And then funding, Tesco and Asda have a community funding pot. There's lots of other funding streams that you can access. And then what are the future plans for our project? So I actually put in for 15 urban trees to be delivered by the Woodland Trust, and that was the application was granted to us, so they'll be delivered around the start of November, so we'll have tree planting if anybody wants to come. And then the next thing is we are hoping to put in a funding bid to Nature Save, which could potentially get us up to £5,000 of funding. So they help grassroots community initiatives across the UK, and we're hoping to roll it out to other alleys across the Liverpool city region. So if you or somebody else that you know want to green your alley, please contact me. My email's on the screen. And I'd like to extend a thank you to my team members for their continued support and encouragement, and to our partners, Face for Change. Thank you.